Hello, everyone. It's Professor Albert Nygren here to talk to you about the New Jersey Film Festival and to do a filmmaker interview with a wonderful animator who actually lives in Montclair, New Jersey, Vanessa Nilsson. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
She did this wonderful, very sweet, very tragic short film called A Polar Bear Story. I wanted to also let you know that the New Jersey Film Festival will be taking place between January 27th and February 19th on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays online, and there will be in-person shows as well. You can get complete information at our website, which is njfilmfest.com. And once you get to our website, you click on current events, and then you click on the red button that steers you to our Eventive website, and there you can get all the information about our film programs. A Polar Bear Story is actually going to be taking place as part of Shorts Program 1, which will be a series of short films. And your film is the very first one on that night.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about A Polar Bear Story. How did you end up making this film, and what is it about?
Yeah, so A Polar Bear Story is a 3D animated film, and it's a comment on just climate change and what's happening with polar bears, today. And it's about a mischievous little polar bear cub with his mom and his other sibling, and he's a very playful, but then quickly gets into trouble, and he falls and he is on ice that breaks away and floats away from his family. So it's kind of just this, a very quick story on how this melting sea ice is being very detrimental to polar bears and their way of life.
Tell us about the animation process, though. Your film is a 3D version, although we'll be showing it 2D and in person and online. How did you work this film?
Yes, so it's a 3D animated film that was inspired from my thesis film. I graduated from my MFA program in 2018, and I did another film titled In the Laboratory, and that was also a comment on climate change and just the causes and effects. And in that short, I had a little clip of polar bears, and I wanted to expand on it. And it was like a 15 seconds in there, and I'm like, I want to create this into a short that just focused on them. And then there was also a technical side of it. As an animator, I'm always trying to get better with my skills and learn more. So it was, I wanted to really learn how to animate fur and how to make it look a little bit more lifelike. I wanted to try to do like ice and all the reflections of water and stuff. So it was kind of a technical experiment for me as well. The
process itself is very painstaking.
Yes.
And how long, I mean, it's a 4-minute film.
Yes.
How long did it take you to make the film?
This is where everyone laughs. It took me 2 years.
Wow.
I started in April 2020 when everyone kind of, pandemic hit. Everyone had some time on their hands. And I was like, oh, I could put some time into this and I can focus on it. And then I would put it down. I started teaching. I teach at Montclair State University and William Patterson University. And I was at that time teaching from home and trying to juggle that whole thing. So I would go back to it when I had time, and the whole process took me 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, I know how difficult it is to teach. I teach an experimental filmmaking class, which actually is on film. And how do you do that through Zoom? I mean, it's a crazy thing. Yeah,
I also, I teach an experimental animation class, and the first time it ever ran was online, and I had to create this for students to be able to do this at home. So it was like, okay, what can they have around the house that they can use, that they don't have to, spend money on? And it was complicated, but fun.
Have you ever done like kind of cell animation? Do you have did you do any animation using individual drawings, or was it always computer generated?
It was always computer generated. I have done digital 2D animation using programs like Adobe Animate, but I've never done traditional painstaking.
But it's just as painstaking, I think, using the computer.
Yeah, each one's, I always say you have to be a little bit crazy to go into this, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
What was the hardest thing in making this film? What was the most difficult aspect of the film?
Definitely learning the fur and having that work, and it's very taxing on the computer, so it can crash, and then just rendering it.
Need a lot of hard drive space.
At home I have 2 computers. One computer is just solely for rendering, and it still took me about 3 months to render it out.
Do you have any plans for another film? Like maybe I guess with this film, I wanted to see more from your film as well, because it was so, I mean, it reminds me a lot of those commercials that you see about the polar bears, and I thought maybe that was the genesis for your film. But it seems as if that there could be more stories added to this one. Do you have the plans to do that?
Not for this one. I do have another animation in the works right now, but it's kind of more centered on bullying, and it's from a child's perspective. So it's kind of taking a turn from the, talking about climate change and whatnot, but this one has also been more dear to my heart, so I've now kind of pivoted to this one.
Make sure you send it to us when it's done.
I will, probably another 2 years.
Oh my gosh, I hope not, I hope not. Well, it was lovely chatting with you.
Me too.
Folks, you've got to see this film. It's part of our Shorts Program 1 lineup on Saturday, January 28th. The live program will take place at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It's our early show. We'll have 2 shows on that day. And there's going to be a series of really wonderful animation and short movies, some experimental stuff in there too. And you can watch it online all day, starting at 12:01 on January 28th. So if you're, late night Friday, you're into Saturday, you want to watch some movies, you can start watching right after midnight. And let's say you want to watch late in the day, you can do that as well, up till I think 11:45. And you still have 24 hours to watch it online. But if you want to come and meet Vanessa and some of the other filmmakers at the screening, come at 5 o'clock. There's a Q&A session where you can interact with the filmmakers there too. And it's really a wonderful program. And I look forward to seeing you there.
Very
and
excited.
Folks, come and check it out, and come and hang out with us at the New Jersey Film Festival. Thank you so much.